नाज़रीन, कश्मीर लाइफ के साइंस टॉक सीरीज में आपका खुशामदीद। इस सीरीज में हम जम्मू कश्मीर के साइंटिस्ट से बात करते हैं जो दुनिया के मुख्तलिफ हिस्सों में मुख्तलिफ इंस्टीट्यूशंस में फॉर ए लार्जर कॉमन गुड ऑफ ह्यूमैनिटी काम कर रहे हैं। कुछ फार्मा में काम कर रहे हैं, कुछ केमिस्ट्री में काम कर रहे हैं और कुछ लाइफ साइंस की जो दूसरे शोबे हैं उनमें काम कर रहे हैं। तो आज की कड़ी में, आज के इस शुमारे में हमने दावत दी है डॉक्टर नसीम चरू साहब को। ये इस वक्त हमारे साथ दुबई से बात कर रहे हैं। डॉक्टर साहब, आपका खुशामदीद कश्मीर लाइफ के इस सीरीज में जो साइंस को डेडिकेट है।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आप।
डॉक्टर चरू साहब जो हैं फार्मेसी बैकग्राउंड से हैं और इन्होंने रिसर्च काफ़ी किया है। ये कुछ फार्मा इंस्टीट्यूशंस को एडवाइस भी करते हैं, काम भी कर चुके हैं वहाँ। और वेरी रिसेंटली he is part of a new initiative, a startup in research and development focused completely to the pharma sector. So डॉक्टर साहब से हम बात करेंगे इस बात पे कि ये जो अभी कोविड-19 से हम फुल्ली वापस नहीं आए हैं, मतलब we can't completely say that we have vanquished this virus that is apparently more intelligent than human beings. But आपका एक्सपीरियंस कैसे रहा जब पूरा रेस चल रहा था पूरी दुनिया में, पूरी लैब्स में और पूरे फार्मा सेक्टर में कि हम ही पहले हूं जो किसी तरह से इस वैक्सीन डिस्कवर करें, बनाएं टू फाइट दिस। तो वो रेस जो थी, तो आप उसमें किस तरफ दौड़ रहे थे और आपके क्या एक्सपीरियंस है उसके हवाले से?
एक्चुअली जैसे कोविड ये पैंडेमिक डिक्लेयर हुआ, एक्चुअली देयर वाज लॉट ऑफ अनसर्टेनिटी इन्वॉल्व्ड। वायरस के बारे में कुछ ज़्यादा मालूम नहीं था, इट्स जेनेटिक कोडिंग के बारे में, देन सिम्टम्स, हाउ टू ट्रीट देम, देयर वाज लॉट ऑफ अनसर्टेनिटी। ऑन द टॉप ऑफ दैट, WHO ने जो पैंडेमिक डिक्लेयर, उससे पैनिक क्रिएट हो गया। बट फॉर्चुनेटली इन दुबई, एक्चुअली दे वर अमंग द one of the earliest to launch this whole vaccination program. They collaborated with Sinopharm China, and we were given doses as we were among the first few people who received the vaccine doses from Sinopharm, subsequently second doses. So there was a lot of talks were going about ivermectin being effective, but then it did not work. Then there was some other drug was discovered, was proposed to help, symptomatic relief, but that was also not, long term, it was not efficacious enough. So a lot of research, a lot of hypothesis was built around it. But as we moved along, as we knew more about the virus, we came to know more about the virus, then the strategies, how to counter it, how to build medicines, better medicines, they were proposed. And of course, vaccination, that's the first line of defense, So I think, with the many vaccines now approved by WHO, it has certainly helped, But going forward, actually, many companies, pharmaceutical companies, they're investing, in oral, medications that might prove very, helpful. Then I know there is phase 3 clinical studies are going on for a medication which will be, given as a nebulizer, So the studies are going on, but still there is a lot of uncertainty. Very recently, US FDA has approved this Pfizer vaccine for children below 5 years also. So the developments are going on, but it will certainly take some time till we know much about all the details about it.
तो नाजरीन, जैसा कि आप समझ गए होंगे, when we talk about the cost Charoo, it essentially means सोपोर। लेकिन नसीम साहब ने जब अपना स्टार्टअप शुरू किया तो इन्होंने उसका नाम भी सोपोर फार्मा सॉल्यूशंस रखा। लेकिन इस पर बात करने से पहले नसीम साहब से हम उनकी लर्निंग कर्व के बारे में पूछेंगे। उनकी तालीम और तरबियत कहाँ होगी और उनका जो सफ़र रहा कैरियर का, स्ट्रगल रही, और इस लर्निंग कर्व में बहुत सारे चैलेंजेस रहे होंगे। तो डॉक्टर साहब, हमको बता दीजिएगा कि आपका जो सफ़र स्कूल से लेके अब तक का है कैसा रहा और उसमें कितने कर्व्स रहे और आपने कैसे नेगोशिएट की?
Just a minor correction. It is not Sopor, actually. It is Sopor, Succor. It's a French word which means to help. Which means to help. So मेरी जो सारी एजुकेशन है, प्रिलिमिनरी एजुकेशन, वो सोपोर में हुई. मैंने छानखन गवर्नमेंट स्कूल में I studied till 8th grade in छानखन स्कूल. देन फिर मैंने जामिया कदीम हाई स्कूल में अपना 10th 12th तक वहाँ पे पढ़ाई की. देन फिर मैंने एडमिशन लिया था गवर्नमेंट बॉयज स्कूल, जो डिग्री कॉलेज है सोपोर का. बट उन्हीं दौरान मेरा एडमिशन हो गया जामिया हमदर्द में, बैचलर्स ऑफ फार्मेसी में.
अच्छा.
So I joined pharmacy in 1998, and then I completed it in 1998. I qualified GATE, which is an exam conducted by, it was then conducted by, university. It was under University Grants Commission. I scored 94 percentile, got admission into pharmaceutical science in Jamia Hamdard itself, in pharmaceutical science. I had completed my master's in 2000. And I worked on actually ophthalmic drug delivery systems of ciprofloxacin. Then in 2000, after completing my master's, I joined PhD degree in the same institute. The topic of my research was transdermal drug delivery systems for non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. I completed my PhD in 2004, March, April.
So उसके बाद then you joined a pharma company.
After I defended my thesis, I joined Ranbaxy. It was then known as Ranbaxy Research Laboratory, which is now Sun Pharma. So I joined Ranbaxy Research Laboratories in 2004. I worked in formulation development, research and development, mainly formulation development for US and European markets. So that was my first, my job, which I took, in research and development. I developed various formulations, both solid as well as liquid formulations. Then technology transferred it to the production plant. So production plants were located in Madhya Pradesh, in Himachal. We used to transfer technology there. Then submission of dossiers to US FDA as well as EMEA regulatory authorities. After I left Ranbaxy in 2006, I moved to North Africa. I was there in North Africa for about 4 years with an academic institute and pharmaceutical company. Then in 2010, I moved to West Africa. I was involved in a project which was funded by Clinton Foundation and by Gates Foundation to develop, medications for essential medicines and to promote industry in developing countries. So I established research and development center there and developed products for pre-qualification. One of the formulations that I developed for pre-qualification was fluconazole capsules there. In 2012 and 2013, I went to Malaysia. I was R&D head of Zepasol, which is the #1 local Malaysian pharmaceutical company, the biggest local company there. I established also a research and development center there and did formulation developments for Southeast Asian markets. In 2014, 2015, I came to UAE. I joined Neopharma, which is one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies here in UAE, in fact, in GCC. I handled their Greenfield project to build a new pharmaceutical facility in Abu Dhabi, in Pisa, the industrial area. And I was also the plant head of their Brazil plant. They have a plant in Brazil. I was the plant head. I it was an achievement that we were able to register new chemical entity in Brazil. The Brazilian regulatory authority is one of the most stringent authorities in the world. It is in par with US FDA. So we were able to register not only many abbreviated new drug applications, but also new drug application. In 2019, I left Neo Pharma and established my own pharmaceutical company, a research-based organization. It is based in Hyderabad, but I'm based in Dubai. But my research staff and other technical staff is operating from Hyderabad. So currently we are doing many projects in Saudi Arabia, in UAE, even in India. We are working on few projects which are meant to be submitted to US FDA. Then we are also handling certain regulatory queries which are difficult to attend otherwise. So we offer actually a variety of services, from formulation development to regulatory support to technology transfer. And in between, actually, also I am associated with the International Pharmaceutical Federation in a program to develop, to promote pharmaceutical manufacturing in developing countries, especially in Africa. So this program is supported by WHO. I am part of that, and we try to work out the means to promote industry, to facilitate things. One of the programs, famous programs in this platform is developing biowaiver monographs. So what we do actually, we it's an amalgam of literature as well as research-based program, whereby we collect literature and evidence to support waiver or in vivo clinical studies. So far we have published more than 50 monographs, and I am the lead author for 4 monographs, including the recent one, which is sitagliptin, the very recent drug for diabetes. So companies willing to develop generic versions of sitagliptin, they may not need to do bioequivalence clinical studies. So this is to promote pharmaceutical industry. Apart from that, I am also actually involved with an organization in US which is called QBD Works, to promote application of quality risk management and quality by design, which are very new principles in formulation development and pharmaceutical development. So we are actually coming up with various case studies to promote their application in pharmaceutical development.
A very, very impressive 1.5 decade, very impressive work. काफी मोमेंट रही, हंट फॉर नई चीजें हैं, नए फॉर्मुलेशंस हैं, तो कहां से कहां तक पहुंच गए आप. लेकिन पहली बात जो मैं आपसे बेसिकली इन डिटेल में करना चाहूंगा वो ये कि व्हेन यू आर डूइंग योर डॉक्टरेट इन जामिया हमदर्द, so what were the takeaways from that research? If you can, अगर आप उसको एक्सप्लेन करेंगे, मान लीजिए उन लोगों से बात कर रहे हैं आप जिन लोगों को फार्मा का चेन रिएक्शंस तो पता नहीं है, लेकिन तो आम इंसान को कैसे समझाएंगे आप? What were the takeaways from your research?
So the main takeaway, actually, the hypothesis that we worked on was, usually for arthritis and chronic ailments, patient is supposed to take medications for a long term. And non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, they are known to cause gastric, issues, gastric irritation, gastric ulcers. So what we try to do is we try to develop transdermal delivery system, whereby the medication was supposed to be delivered through skin. So the one challenge was that the barrier properties of skin, the stratum corneum, the upper layer of epidermis, it's quite resistant to permeation of larger size molecules. So challenge was to overcome it and to get adequate concentration in blood, so that we can get equivalent response, therapeutic response. So we were able to overcome the challenge by using certain special penetration permeation enhancers. And if you see, subsequently various transdermal dosage formulations have come actually, which in the form of gels, in the form of patches, which have proved very beneficial, especially for medications which are meant for chronic ailments. And I mean, what I have actually done now, we have developed now, this is a collaboration between my company and one company here in Dubai. We have developed a device which is called electroporation device, through which we are able to deliver actually molecules by applying electric voltage to the skin, which enhances the permeability. So we are able to actually improve permeation of various molecules. So, I mean, one of the molecules that we are actually currently working on is hyaluronic acid for aesthetic applications. So we have certainly used, so it's not, the work that you undertake in PhD, it is just not for the sake of degree. I mean, if it is properly, research, properly performed and done, you can certainly, reap rewards. Like we have just now introduced this electroporation device, and we hold the exclusive rights actually for this device. And we have designed it ourselves also.
So that is quite impressive, but have you patented the device?
Not yet, but we might, we are looking into that, there is, I mean, we are working on that. So we have tested the formulations using this device. I can tell you, the medications which would otherwise take 1 month to produce effect, we achieve similar results within 3 days.
That's quite huge. That's quite impressive.
Yeah.
So what else have you done after your doctorate, apart from the device you devised?
I worked, as I said, I started my career with Ranbaxy Research Laboratories. I moved to Africa. In Africa, actually, I helped pharmaceutical companies, to build the capacity and to, raise their standards to WHO GMP levels. Then, as I said, I was involved in one project which was funded by Gates and Clinton Foundation in Ghana, West Africa. So what we did actually, we established a state-of-art, research and development center. So there actually, I was closely, involved in formulation development for malaria, for HIV disease, for tuberculosis, because these are 3 identified areas which have been identified by WHO as, they are the essential, these are the diseases for which essential medicines are, focused. So these 3 areas, I worked extensively on these 3, diseases. And we came up with various formulations. So I have actually been fortunate after, even if I am in industry, I have been closely, associated with research. I have published more than 50 research articles. And these research articles are actually very much, useful, to industry. For example, as I said, 4, publications of biowaiver monographs, through which, companies can seek biowaiver. They do not need to do clinical studies for their, new product developments. Then I have designed, sample size in 2000. In 2010, 2011, 12, that was a period the pharmaceutical, technology, pharmaceutics was going through, significant change and developments. So new guidelines were published by ICH as well as by US FDA, which called for, new approach to formulation development and pharmaceutical development. So I have actually proposed new sample size, new validation approach, which is in line with US FDA, so, and, I can tell you, this approach is followed by many industries, and I actually deliver various lectures and presentations in various industries to explain our approach, and they're very happy to, accommodate into their, strategy and into their, plans.
You've done such a long, इतना सारा काम किया आपने और इतनी जगहों पर काम किया. लेकिन Dr. Saab, can you tell us which of this has been hugely satisfying for you as a professional, as an academic, as a researcher?
The satisfying has been, I have actually established 3 research and development centers in Malaysia, in Singapore, in West Africa, and North Africa. Then I have built the, capacity, I have, introduced new dosage formulations. I have built green plant here in UAE, So these are, satisfying, when I see my contribution to pharmaceutical industry, especially for developing countries, Africa, where it is much needed, where the access to medications is very, still, it's very poor. So this program is very satisfying that I have been able to contribute to it.
अच्छा, एक सवाल पूछूं मैं डॉक्टर साहब कि in Kashmir we teach pharmacy at bachelor's level as well as at master's level, and we do also produce researchers जो कश्मीर यूनिवर्सिटी से, and कश्मीर का जो environment है, यहाँ का जो temperature है, तो a lot many people say कि Kashmir is suited to certain industries, including IT and pharma manufacture.
Certainly.
So, do you look at Kashmir as a potential investment spot?
Certainly, yes. In 2016, actually, I, visited Kashmir with the purpose of, setting up a plant there, because the climate of Kashmir is, very suitable for this industry, because pharmaceutical manufacturing has to be, carried out below, 25 degrees centigrade. And the humidity levels in Kashmir are also very low. They are usually below 60 degrees. So these temperature and humidity levels are very much suitable. So this means, let us say in other parts of India, they need to spend a lot of investment on heating and ventilation systems to maintain these conditions. But in Kashmir, because of the climate, so that's very much suited. So the cost of electricity, cost on investment on HVAC and their maintenance will be significantly less. And apart from that, the other area, which is very, very good, which should be actually, explored is herbal medications. Kashmir is, there are a lot of herbs which are indigenous to Kashmir. Datura is there. There are so many herbs, saffron is, in fact, its medicinal use is well known. So like this, there are, a lot of this. So extraction, the herbal industry, the extraction of these medications from these herbs, then subsequently converting them into pharmaceutical dosage forms. So Kashmir is very, it's an excellent place to, for pharmaceutical industry. Moreover, if you see, more than 50% medications which are supplied to Kashmir do not meet, standards, ICH standards or WHO standards, which is unfortunate. That means, the safety and efficacy of these medications is questionable. They don't meet standards. So, we should, we all should come together, try to develop our own pharmaceutical industry with a focus on quality, meeting international standards. So certainly, I strongly believe, as I said, I came in 2016, but unfortunately, because of the circumstances. So I strongly do believe, Kashmir is a right place, for this kind of industry.
So hopefully, जब तक आप इस सिचुएशन में आ जाएंगे जब आपको लगेगा कि it is investment ready and there are no issues around, is there some kind of possibility कि जो हमारे graduates and post graduates यहाँ से निकलते हैं, so there could be some hand holding and some research patronage so that they follow the suit that you have actually created?
Certainly, very certainly. We are actually we do try to support whatever way we can. We are always there for our students who come up and want to do research. For example, recently we were able to get postdoc for one of our students from Kashmir in Texas University. So then, as our network is very broad, we do facilitate training in pharmaceutical industries. So they can reach us, they can and tell us what they want, actually what is their area of interest. We can certainly help either in training or in recruitment, even or even higher studies. And even we serve as post supervisors also in the research project.
We have basically a lot of institutional network now available in Kashmir, चाहे वो CSIR हो या वो मतलब इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट, मतलब बहुत सारे इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं, और यहाँ यूनानी सेटअप भी काफ़ी है, आयुर्वेदा भी है, एंड देन वी हैव फॉर्मल institutional network within the universities. So there is a possibility of at least hand holding some research or identifying a couple of plants that can be low मतलब जो मतलब low hanging हो, ताकि उसको we can convert certain herbs into proper medicines, and that can create some sort of economy.
Certainly, we are open to it. If we have interesting investors from Valley who would want to set up these plants. We will be more than happy to come forward and support this pharmaceutical industry there in whatever capacity, either as investors, co-investors, or as technical consultants, technical advisors. So yeah, it certainly can be done. Yeah.
डॉक्टर साहब, ये जो आपने अपने बिजी शेड्यूल में इतना टाइम निकाला हमारे लिए इस सीरीज का हिस्सा बनने के लिए, और इतनी जो आपकी इम्प्रेसिव एक्सपीरियंस रही है इस सेक्टर में, वो सब शेयर किया आपने हमारे नाज़रीन के साथ, तो होपफुली हम तो इसके लिए शुक्रगुजार हैं ही हैं, लेकिन आने वाले दिनों में हम उम्मीद करेंगे कि कोई अच्छी सी बात आपकी कंपनी, कोई नया ब्रेक थ्रू हो जो हमें फिर एक बार फिर मिला दे, हम बात करेंगे इस ब्रेक थ्रू के हवाले से। तो डॉक्टर साहब, हम आपके निहायत ही मशकूर हैं, आपने हमारे लिए इतना टाइम निकाला।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका।
थैंक यू सर, सो नाइस ऑफ यू सर।
प्लेजर।